nothing in comparison to the tsunami-sized ones that escaped him 18 months later, when he found out they were having triplets as well. Dad had cried so violently that their neighbours on Storey Street had to wedge sandbags against their front doors. The army hovered outside for 2 days in canoes, packed with tissues and other essential supplies. Well, that's the version I like to tell anyway. But no amount of tears could stop the twins or the triplets arriving. Not from Dad, and not from Mouse either. Before all his brothers came along, Mouse had loved having his mum and dad to himself. Together, they'd build superheroes out of Lego, and they'd carry him up and down the stairs like he was flying. Mouse should have guessed, though, as soon as Mum told him the news about the twins, that this would soon be a thing of the past. "How are we going to fit everyone in?" he'd asked when news of the triplets broke, even though that was the least of their concerns. They should have been worrying about ever having a minute to themselves ever again, or how they would ever afford to put 6 children through university and still afford new animals for Dad's act. Mum, patient as ever, pointed at her swollen belly and said, "If I can fit them in here, then we can find space in the house too. Maybe you can move your room up to the attic. You've been on about it for ages." Mouse muttered under his breath. Despite being secretly pleased about his bedroom, it was still going to be a nightmare, and he wanted Dad and Mum to know it. "Maybe," she said with a grin. "Maybe you could be more involved this time, now you're older." Mouse's stomach turned at the thought of milky vomit and mustard-coloured poos. He'd seen enough of that with the twins. "I am not changing nappies." "No, not nappies," Mum said. "We were thinking you could help us with names. 3 strong names for 3 strong little brothers." It didn't take Mouse long to come up with a definitive shortlist. "Mouse," Dad barked, "there is no way in the world we are calling your baby brothers Bat, Spider, and Super." "Why not? It would be cool. They could all have the same middle name too." "But Man isn't really a name, is it?" Mum said. "And imagine the mickey taken at school." Mouse was gutted. Why ask him to name the triplets if his suggestion was going to be kicked away? Well, he wasn't going to let it beat him. He was going to come up with acceptable superhero names, even if it killed him. That was it. He had it. He'd have to do it cleverly, though, so Mum and Dad didn't know what they were agreeing to. "Okay," he sighed, as if defeated. "How about Bruce, Peter, and Clark?" Mum and Dad looked at each other, smiled, then said, "Nice. And if you like them, so do we. Deal." Mouse performed a victory jig as he walked away. Ha! They had no idea that Bruce, Peter, and Clark were actually Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman's alter ego names. Maybe, just maybe, having 5 little brothers wasn't going to be as bad as he thought. Except it was. Of course it was.